Hey everyone, and welcome to the 5th episode of Psychiachix. Today we have got Dr. Chloe Sakal, Dr. Nataly Gibson, and myself, Dr. Kirsty Alderton. And we are bringing you a brilliant episode once again. Ready, ladies?
Sure.
Sure.
Ready.
We've been doing some thinking about, what we might talk about today. And we're going to talk about pleasing people. And not in the context of the last episode, not in that thing. We're talking about people pleasing, living life, pleasing others.
Yeah. So what is that about? I think a lot of people identify with being a people pleaser. And what do we mean when we say that? I mean, well, yeah, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, but when we do things we don't necessarily want to do just to please somebody else.
But we might not even know that we're doing it to please someone else. That's the biggest problem, really. We might be doing it because we think it's something we have to do, or we might be doing it because we think it's sort of pleasing ourselves.
Yeah, because sometimes it gets so enmeshed in us that I can only be pleased myself when I please those around me.
When I please others, yeah, and that gets very confusing.
Well, have you guys got any examples of people pleasing? Things that you've personally done?
Oh yeah, I do. So at work, when your boss or your senior is like, oh, nobody's put themselves forward to do that presentation, tomorrow. Do you mind doing it? And in your mind, you're like, well, fuck no, because it's tomorrow, and I have a freaking life. And you're like,
and instead
okay.
Yeah, sure, yeah, I'd love to stay up all night and do that work.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll just cancel my plans. Yeah, I've done that loads of times.
Yeah, or kind of like when someone asks you to do something, you're already doing something else tomorrow, and what you do is you make yourself really flexible, so you change all of your plans and you go, well, I could probably nudge that, and I could probably do that a bit earlier, I can move that so that I can please this person, instead of just saying I'm not free then, and being able to hold that boundary. That brings us on to boundaries.
Oh gosh, yeah, boundaries.
Maybe.
It's kind of a hot word, isn't it, in psychiatry, isn't it? Boundaries. What does it actually mean? What does it mean to have boundaries?
Well, I guess a boundary it's your red lines, as they say in negotiation. So they are the lines that you don't want to cross or you don't want to break. So your boundaries protect you. The clue's in the name. They're your boundaries to external things. Your boundaries protect you and yourself from uncomfortableness, things you don't want to do, per person you don't want to become. And it's really hard in the modern world, I guess. It's really hard to uphold those things, especially when you're getting pressure from, well, everywhere, really.
And what sort of feelings do people experience? Do you guys experience when, because you're a people pleaser, you allow people to violate your own boundaries? What things come up?
It feels rubbish.
Yeah.
I experience anger a lot, actually.
You just push it down.
Push it down. So somebody will ask something of me, and it can be, really small things like, can you give me a lift somewhere? Or, I don't know, can I come round? And really, I want to say no, and I go, yeah. And then all this anger because I've violated my own boundaries. I've allowed somebody to intrude upon me. Then I get filled with all this rage, and it's not the other person's fault.
No,
because
you said yes.
Well, yeah, I said
the resentment. Oh, it just made me remember a story of a time when someone kind of like got a lift with me, and they sort of, when someone very cleverly, it's very good, it's very skillful, they sort of manipulate a situation so that, and suddenly someone's in your car and you're giving them a lift home, and you didn't intend to, you don't really want to, you're kind of going out of your way to get them there, and you're sort of in the car with them, and you're like, wow. And then halfway through the journey, this person said, I really need a shit.
What?
where's this going, Kirsty?
Yeah.
But it was just really weird. I really needed shit, so I had to hurry up.
So someone got into your car, somehow got you to give them a lift somewhere that was out of your way, and then you had to hurry up because they needed to have a poo.
Yeah. I mean, that was basically the whole story.
What?
So, I mean, many levels of frustration because I didn't want to give that person a lift, but
yeah. Why was it so hard? I mean, how did that scenario come up? Why was it so hard? At what point did the boundary get crossed?
To say no. Yeah, because I guess, is it really hard to say no? How does it feel to say no?
That is one of my most frightening dynamics, though, where I don't even see the boundary being violated.
Yeah.
So suddenly someone's just in your car, and then they say, "Oh, actually, sorry, can you just drive a bit further? I just need to stop at the shop of the way as well." Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, well, I kind of want to go home," and then you sort of feel like you have to say yes, and
it can happen really insidiously.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, can you just bring my shopping to my house because I can't carry it on my own?" You're like,
Can you just clean my house because you're here?
Yeah. Can you just do my shit for me?
Okay, actually, because thinking about this, sometimes it's harder to say no than it is to clean someone's house. And that brings me on, I mean, we were thinking about this earlier about sex or about any of those things, that some people might find it so uncomfortable in those situations to say no. It's harder to say no, so they just continue.
It's very British.
Very, very British. I'll just say that I'll import this.
It's so British, it's just to avoid the awkwardness. Let's just do it anyway. I don't want it to be awkward, so fine, I'll clean your house, like whatever.
Yeah, I know. And I talking about sex, I have a lot of friends who have just had sex and they didn't want to because it was easier than saying I don't want to.
Well, like awkwardness is like one thing, but I guess you've got to think like why you want to people please, why you want to violate your boundaries. And I guess it's you do a very quick calculation in your brain about what's to be lost and what's to be gained if you say no.
And what things do come up? What things do you guys worry about if you were to say no?
So I guess it depends on the situation, but if you were to say no to someone, you have a fear of them rejecting you, being angry with you. You're not a nice person. You're boring. You're, depending on what the question is.
Complexes,
a lot of, there's a lot of fear of those things happening, which is why sometimes it's easier just to say yes.
Yeah. What if they're angry? What if I say no, I can't give you a lift, and they shout at me?
Yeah.
And what will that mean if somebody is angry with me? What will that mean about myself? I might feel like a bad person.
Yeah.
I might be frightened.
Or it could be that person is in maybe a position of power, or that there's something you need from them, and you sort of have to play along and say yes because you need something for them, or you need to impress them, or you think you do.
And I suppose that happens a lot in our work structure, doesn't it? I mean, lots of people do things for their bosses they don't really want to do because
presentations.
Yeah, shit. What if they take my job away from me? What if they take money?
Or feeling like you're not good enough, or that you can't cope. And if you're someone that's very very driven, and your kind of whole identity is about kind of success and doing things, you're always going to say yes to the next thing, because otherwise that one thing to you feels like that's the one thing that you can't cope anymore. You're not good enough, or they'll take it away from you and give it to someone else that can do it. And how does that leave you feeling? So
But it's also what you can gain from if you say yes. So you're one of these people. One of my patients actually she said she was a praise whore. I thought it was quite funny. Want all the praise, give me all the positive reinforcement, all the praise that I'm great. So I'm going to keep saying yes because, that means you'll like me. So there's that as well.
Exactly. And this starts really young, doesn't it? It starts with our children, how we raise kids and how we teach them. And the praise we give them when they do something that's deemed as good. And it's probably, things being done that please adults. So if a child does something that is, you know, makes an adult happy or kind of fits what they want to do, then we offer lots of praise, don't we? So we'll say like, good girl. I mean, more specifically, we say be a good girl quite a lot. I don't know, maybe we say be a good boy. Do we say be a good boy?
Yeah, I say it to my dog a lot.
You said good dog.
He's such a good boy.
But I think in general we have this expectation that girls are good and boys will be boys. And I have a real issue with that, of course. And we teach women to kind of be the peacemakers in a kind of history. Women will keep the peace and they will, you know, regulate the
compliance.
Yeah, comply. And you you don't do what is authentic to you. Because I guess that's what happens, isn't it? If you continue to make decisions that are pleasing others, where does that leave you?
And it also, I think there is something about it possibly leaving other people in an uncomfortable position as well, because you do get left with a lot of resentment and anger. And actually, I think if you ask, you know, anyone, do you want me to be angry with you because I'm not telling you where my boundaries are, most people are going to say no.
Yeah, I think they'd much
prefer. Found out one of your friends had just been harboring loads of anger against you.
Yeah.
And you thought, but you said you wanted to give me a lift.
Yeah.
I didn't say you could shit in my car.
Yes, I did not say that. But it isn't. I think a lot of people worry about holding boundaries and saying no because they think, oh, it's selfish.
Yeah.
But actually, if you reframe that and think, wouldn't you want to know where your friend's boundaries were? Wouldn't you?
I'd feel awful if I knew, one of my friends was just saying yes to me to the detriment of themselves.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Why couldn't you be authentic with me? Just let me know.
Yeah.
How do we help people do this? Because it's a skill, isn't it? It's something that needs to be practiced. If you are someone that's always people please, the moment that you put in a boundary, you may be surrounded by lots of people that you've always pleased, because you will have these people in your life. You will have all these people around you that you've always pleased. So when you wake up one day and you suddenly decide that you're not going to please anymore, you're going to do what feels right for you, you have to then kind of accept the fallout, as I like to call it, the fallout of being you, of saying what you need. And how do we help people with that?
My God, it is really difficult. And I suppose we've been saying all this, but, and it is important to say that, of course, it's okay to say no to people. Of course, it's okay to have boundaries. And people that there might be a fallout. I completely agree with you, Kirsty. If you're somebody who always pleases, you will be surrounded by people who have been drawn to you because you do things for them. You please them and they gain from that. You know, there's nothing, they're not bad people or anything like that. Why wouldn't they be drawn to someone who does things for them? When you start to say no and put boundaries in, there might be some difficult things that come up.
I guess one way to, if you're someone who does this a lot, then I guess you need to start thinking about what are the consequences of you being like that. If you're someone who's always pleasing other people to the detriment of yourself, how is that affecting you? Why you keep doing it? What's eventually going to happen? I think if you are someone who doesn't hold their boundaries, not only are you going to be someone like Chloe said, who's resentful, like secretly, quietly resentful, but it's an annihilation of yourself. You're not.
What is left?
What's left? You're not sticking up for yourself.
You're constantly the product of other people's desires and wants. Where are you in this equation?
You're getting pushed and pulled to different places, and you're not just there with your own boundaries, holding them. And you've got to remember, you can't actually please everyone. That's literally impossible. If you try to, you can try all you want, but someone's always going to have a problem with something.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you can sort of play with it a little bit once you get that awareness. I guess is the first step, is to just get an awareness of are you pleasing others? Are you are you just saying things because you want to keep the status quo? and then you can kind of experiment a little bit with it, and you know, that happens. You might practice small and then go a bit bigger with your kind of, with your, you know, the things that you say no to and the things you put boundaries in. But yeah, I mean, I've certainly experienced it, and you have to, it doesn't feel good. Actually it doesn't feel good, and then you're left thinking, well, that doesn't feel good and this doesn't feel good either, so what was the point? They're not pleased and I'm feeling shit. So it takes practice.
I've certainly been in situations before, and it's been really, you know, you start small and you say, actually, I remember saying no to giving someone a lift, funnily enough, and their response,
they need a shift.
Such a theme.
Quite an angry response. You know, anger, taking it out, and evidently showing their anger, and showing that anger to other people as well, saying that I was unreasonable. And actually, when you get that sort of response, is that the kind of person you want in your life? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. Another thing around kind of parenting again, and about mums, is this idea that mums will always put their children first, and you know, they become women become completely selfless, so they become nothing. They please, they're there for the family, and they will put everyone else's needs before their own. And I find that really difficult to hear, because it's like it's a compliment almost to a mum to say, you are so selfless, like you do everything for everyone else, you put everyone before yourself. But for me, I get alarm bells when I hear that, because I think, is that what you're teaching your child though? Do you want to teach your child that you, as a woman especially, do you teach your child that you put everyone else's needs before your own?
You're basically a doormat.
It's the same as being a doctor or a healthcare professional.
Sure is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you just go into the line of fire, please? And maybe you might die in the line of in your line of work, but you know,
would you?
You signed up for this, so yeah.
Yeah. So the sort of things that might come up is the people around you. They might be angry. They might, but that is their anger, and that is for them to hold and for them to deal with. And it might feel uncomfortable. There might be anxiety the first time you start doing this. The first time you start saying, actually, I don't want to be doing this. I've got my own things that I want to be doing. It might be uncomfortable, but once you push through it, you'll find a different sort of person comes around you.
Better people.
We've spoken about quite a lot, although this is quite a short video. But hey ho, the last video was great. So
we're resting on our laurels.
Yeah. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, be our friend, because we haven't got any. So
yeah, I got to hang out with these two bitches.
Thank you so much for watching, and tune in again.
Yeah. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh my god, look, I look like a poodle.
You look great. Oh my god, I'm such a people pleaser. You look
Oh, we're all doing it, okay.
So if everyone wants to vote on who looks better with their new hairstyle, just put your comments in the comment section.